Okay, you got a rumor sheet.
I got a rumor sheet. We're just
now tell me why these. You told me I have a rumor sheet. Why are these rumors? Because we can't confirm that these are true, or they're just put out there as just that rumors.
Well, Brew Chance, our marketing specialist, sent this over hot on the wire.
I love rumors, so let's go ahead and do it. But we'll disclose to the audience now. We are speculating. We are not reporting, but give it to us. These are rumors.
Rumors.
Let's go.
Rumors. Steam is picking up that Brock Lesnar wants at least one more fight in the UFC before he retires.
I've heard that.
Sources say Lesnar's recent run in the USADA did not deter the plan to give the WWE superstar at least one more big UFC send-off in 2017. Are you a buyer or a seller?
Oh, I'm a buyer big time. Brock Lesnar, when they talk about the biggest draw ever, they don't put him in it. When they talk about, who moved the needle and who's the biggest superstar ever, Brock is not fit into that equation. Who's got the television ratings and the pay-per-view and the T-shirts? He's not in it because he was an anomaly. He wasn't deep in the sport, and he was just such a one-off of stardom. It almost got graded on a curve where you just threw that one out. That's how big he is, and I'm on board with that. If Brock's fighting, I'm watching. I'm a naysayer. I generally will cheer against him. And I did notice after he got hit by USADA, he goes back to the WWE. He's cleaned up his act a lot. He's off half the supplements he was on. And I'm looking at it going, Brock, you got caught and you're done and you're not coming back. You don't get clean now. Stay juicy. But maybe he is thinking about a comeback. And frankly, the way that USADA thing shook out, the money behind that or the politics or whatever ridiculousness happened and he essentially got a slap on the wrist, he's almost eligible. He's only 6 months away from getting a license and being back in there. So that does change things because we've talked about this before. And I said, no, Brock will never fight again. But I was assuming he would be on the 2-year mandatory first-time ban. Somehow he got around the mandatory ban, got 12 months, got a small fine, and was like 5 months into that when that all happened retroactively. So, I mean, he's damn near ready for training camp if he really did want to do something this summer.
Who would be a good opponent for him?
I couldn't imagine anybody would be. He's terrible. I couldn't imagine that Hunt was going to be, but Brock goes out and he has the basics and he knows what to do and he's a good competitor. And I underestimated that the first time, and I wouldn't do that the second time. As far as a good opponent, though, if you're a promoter, you do not send a guy out on top. And so many guys want to come back and go, well, this is my last fight or this is my retirement fight, and I want a good send-off. If you're a promoter, you do not send a guy out with momentum. The guy has to pass the torch. That's the rule in a promotion business, from wrestling to fighting. If it's a promotion business, that guy doesn't leave on top. They tried everything they could just to get Brock's name to make sure he had a favorable opponent, Mark Hunt, who doesn't know how to wrestle. I can't imagine they'd make that same mistake twice. However, from a business standpoint and just purely drawing, maybe you do whatever it takes to get him back in that ring.
I am not buying it.
Now, you're not buying it as in you're not buying the rumor. I'm asking if he comes back, are you buying the show?
Of course, I buy them all.
Oh, okay. You don't think he'll fight again?
No.
All right.
I do not. All right. Next one, we got TJ Dillashaw was being targeted to drop to 125 for an immediate title shot with Mighty Mouse until Cody dominated Cruz to win the title. With the grudge match between Cody and TJ now on the table as well, TJ could be offered a title shot in 2 different weight classes. Which fight does he take first?
Yeah, well, it's no question he takes the Garbrandt fight. The Demetrius fight, yeah, you do it because you got to try to fill somebody in and do something with the division that will not draw. The Garbrandt story not only has already built steam, TJ did the right thing after his fight, making the challenge. Garbrandt did the right thing after his fight, accepting the challenge. You can't run that back. You were one of the people when we watched that are going, well, I think Cruz will get the next fight. And I looked at you like, come on, dummy. Are you listening to this thing? They both just cut promos on each other. You're going to run that back. You're going to run all those headlines back and then spend $10 million of your own money to try to market and tell a story that was just told for free. Of course it's TJ and Garbrandt. You've already got your B-roll and promos ready to go. They both just cut them, and they were real and organic. Those two also have a backstory that will be told in time. We all have the same managers, so I'm tied into that whole alpha male gym. Our managers got called and had to go down to alpha male, and when they pull in, those two are outside in the parking lot. and our managers have to break this whole thing up. So there is a very real story there. Nothing sells like a main event. Nothing sells like a title fight except one thing. A personal grudge. Number one draw in all of combat sports. These guys have all three. I can guarantee you it is Garbrandt versus TJ next. And frankly, I'll watch TJ and Demetrius fight. I could break that down. I don't know who would win. That's a really good contest. Take it or leave it, man. If it's on, I'll watch it. And if it's not, I'm not pushing for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Cody and TJ. Now TJ.
No, it is Cody and TJ. I just said it's Cody and TJ.
TJ's last fight, I wasn't that impressed with him.
But
this fight, when he...
Oh, what do you mean his last fight? Now, you mean his previous...
The one
you're
previous
not talking Lineker.
No.
You were blown away in the Lineker fight.
Yeah, man.
Best performance of the night, TJ Dillashaw.
Well, what I saw was that he shortened his movement. He wasn't all over the cage. His movement wasn't all over, but goddamn was it good. And whatever the hell he's doing with that swing and swoop and trip and double, whatever the hell that is, that's going to be hard to stop.
I don't even know what it is. I have watched his tape over and over and over. I told you this yesterday. I reached out to TJ. I'm like, hey, how do you do this? And I don't know how I wanted him to answer that via text message. I guess I would have wanted him to make a video for me and send it to me. And he's like, I will have to show you. And he was so busy. He just fought. It was kind of inappropriate that I was bugging him anyway. But in the next week, I'm going to and go, hey, you got to make me a video, man. I'm not going to be out to Colorado anytime soon. I got to know what you're doing. I've never seen him look so good. I've seen him win world championships, and I've never seen him look so good. But there was no athlete on that card, and that was an amazing. You look at what Cody did. Look at what Amanda did. I mean, there was some good performance. Neil Magny, Johnny Hendricks, who both had good performances. Even Johnny in defeat, it was he brought his tools with him. Nobody on that card had a performance like TJ Dillashaw. That was unbelievable. And anybody that thinks that's an overstatement by me, it just doesn't understand who he was fighting. Lineker is not a household name. Lineker is a stone-cold killer. And TJ ran him over in every capacity. In the grappling, in the submissions, in the guard work, in the conditioning, in the strength, in the size, in the technique. You go through it, TJ ran him over.
Now, I will speak on this. So you're right. They set up the fight. TJ sets it up. Cody sets it up. And then Cody comes out the next day and says, hey, I want a money fight with Jose Aldo. And I'm like, why would that be a money fight anyway? Because it's Jose's has got a title that was given to him. And so you end up with two titles. I didn't understand that gibberish at all. I think TJ and Cody are the fight to make. All right, the last one word is that WME, IMG, ABC is going to try and significantly reduce UFC pay-per-view events and bump up more Fox, FS.
Can I interrupt real fast? I love when you tease the name of the new ownership because WMEING, it does get confusing. I like it when you call it Alphabet.
Yeah.
The Alphabet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm using that. I'm running with it. I'll admit right now that's your line, but I am going to use that in the future. I think that's just plain funny. I think if those guys heard that, even they would have to laugh and go, yeah, that was kind of a long and confusing name for an LLC.
But yeah, that's pretty big.
WMEIMG LLC. It's like, right, okay, just stop. We get it. Stop.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, the Alphabet's going to have more cards on Fox, FS1. Sources say the reason behind this is to keep the company from being overly dependent on big stars and make the promo more attractive to future TV partners.
Yeah, so here's the thing on that. TV is pretty sophisticated, and I won't pretend that I understand all the ins and outs. However, the pay-per-view model is designed to fail. Now, it's designed to fail over a meaningful period of time, but it is designed to fail. And plenty of people in television have said, we're interested in the rights to the UFC. However, we want them all. We want you off of pay-per-view completely. We want the big fights, but we want it all. And, when the negotiation comes up, and it's going on essentially now. Nobody knows when the Fox deal is up. We just all knew it was 2017. Well, it's early 2017. It's like today. I mean, those talks and whoever else is coming to the table. And there's going to be a lot more than just Fox. That is not a foregone conclusion. There's new leadership on both sides, not only with the Alphabet, but there's also on Fox's side. They have had changes in personnel. So, any good old boy or handshakes or all of that's off. This is going to be straight business, and people are going to come to the table, and it's not a foregone conclusion that it will be Fox. And I will tell you, those people want it all. They don't just want the big fights to go to pay-per-view and we get everything else. So, yeah, man, if they say that's the way it is and that makes it more intriguing, then it does. And I wouldn't pretend to be able to explain to you why.
Man, we've been spoiled. Me as a fan. Now I'm gonna buy them all. You've got me. But as old Chael P says, I'm the 15 percentile. As Rappaport says, is you don't have to check your facts. We don't care. Perfect. Love you, Rappaport. All right. So my take on it is, yeah, man, we want 6. We want 3 killer fights on the prelims. We want every fight to be a killer fight on the main card, and then we need the main event to deliver. And I'm like, man, you get 3 good fights, man, that's worth your money.
Yeah, that's under the current model. I don't know that I fully agree with you. If I'm going to watch something for 3 hours, yeah, I need to be entertained start to finish. It can't be boxing, where you're throwing guys on there, you've never told us who they are, they walk out, we're all bored to death waiting for the main event. I could see a different model. I could live with a 30-minute show. I could live with a 30-minute UFC where there's one promo, you run the big fight out there, and we're all done 30 minutes later. I'm talking for free TV. That's not a pay-per-view, because there's more that goes into pay-per-view than just the match. There's the experience if you're the fan, right? If I'm watching a pay-per-view, someone's coming over to watch it with me. I'm not watching by myself. Now I got to feed them. So now you're talking about getting some pizza or some food or whatever. So you make kind of a night of it. But if you're talking free TV, I liked when Kane and JDS fought. Now I realized that fight did not go as anyone saw. It was 1 minute, and that wasn't great. So business-wise, you have to plan for it. At the same time, you can't just do one fight. You know, these guys, these sissies are hurt and sick and pulling out of fights left and right. So you got to pad the deck a little bit. And then most importantly, you can't fill a house. It kind of takes you out of the live gate business if there's just one fight. So I get where that doesn't work. But if you wanted to do something with TV, I could live with 30 minutes. I could live with a 30-minute show right here, and it's JDS and Kane like they did on the first ever Fox. I could live with that. You know, they also did something, I can't remember what channel it was on. It was before FS1 existed. It was whatever had the best damn sports show, period. And George Greenberg was behind it, but it was some Fox channel, some News Corp, but I don't know what it was. But if you remember, it was called UFC 37.5. And they just threw one fight on. And it was Chuck Liddell versus Vitor Belfort. They did it out of like the Hard Rock or the Palms, one of those tiny venues where if you sold every seat in the house, it's only 800 tickets. And that was all they had. Their entire show that night was those guys. I liked it. I thought it was cool. It did great numbers. So the business model can change. That's my statement. My statement isn't change the business model to this. My statement is, with a broad stroke, you could change the business model. It doesn't have to be a 4-hour pay-per-view window that you fill 2.5 and then have a little airtime. It doesn't have to be that. You could go all the way down to a 30-minute show.
I agree with you. More's less. You know, give me a couple.
Less is more, but I got you.
Whatever I said. You speak, Joel.
Whatever you said, except the opposite. But
except
yes.
the opposite. Exactly.